Well guys, here we are down at Moto Adelaide. This is my first time coming into Moto Adelaide for a service, and the guys have been kind enough to lend me the new BMW GS Adventure. So stay with me while we take this beast out for a little bit of a spin. So off we go. Now, first thing that you'll notice with the 1300 Adventure is it's got blind spot mirrors, so you can spot any vehicles at the side of you before you make that lane change. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm actually a qualified driving instructor. I don't actually do that anymore. I just got completely fed up with it, and not fed up with my clients, fed up with the people that had no tolerance for learners. Anyway, as a driving instructor, the first thing they're going to tell you is head checks. So before you change lane, it's a legal requirement to do a head check, and what I mean by that is to look over your shoulder. Don't rely on your mirrors. Anyway, we're not going to film too much in the traffic. I want to get out onto the country roads a little bit. I do have a promise not to take this beast on the dirt, so we won't be doing a review on the loose stuff. First impressions. Well, I've got a 1250 GS, as you know, and it doesn't feel much different from that. It's got a few fancy things that we'll point out. So this one has got adaptive cruise control. Now, I'm also not a massive fan of cruise control unless I'm on a big journey where I want to give my hand a rest. You know, perhaps you get pins and needles like I do.
Stop it. Get some help.
So what this thing will do is you can set up your cruise control, and using this burger, they call it the hamburger switch there, you can change the distance between you and the vehicle in front, and it will automatically change the distance to suit, which is pretty incredible, really. Other things to point out, the start button is actually, it used to be in the center, if you remember, and now it's actually now here comes the head check. There we go. All right, so now it's actually over here by your right hand, so they've done away with that center button. I don't really see any difference in that whatsoever, to be honest. I think it's just a gadget and maybe less wiring to the headstock there.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
Other things, we'll give you a quick demo. So finally they've taken note of all the aftermarket stuff. I didn't do a head check there. There you go. Someone's going to leave me a comment below.
Got it? Okay. Now f*** off.
Finally, they've taken note of all the Chinese stuff, and they've now installed, it comes fitted with, check this out, an electrically adjusted. Now you can tell the difference with the wind straight away there, so I'll pop that back up for better audio. So it's got that electrically adjusted windscreen. Alright, we're going to take a left here. A beautiful day here in Adelaide, it's fantastic. Just back to the electrical windscreen, I had a chat with Lockie, the sales guy. Great young guy, thanks for lending me this, Lockie. He said one of the things with this is that whenever you turn the bike off, the electrical windscreen automatically, and now I pointed it out, you're going to be watching how many times I miss a head check. So the electrical windscreen automatically goes to the bottom position when you stop the bike and turn the bike off. My question was, does it remember where you had it set before? Unfortunately, it doesn't. Can you imagine that? That would have been an awesome little gimmick. Alright, I'm just going to stick the old indicator on, do that head check and slot in here. Okay, and we are heading out towards Coromandel Valley today. One thing I love about the GS's, the 1250 and this 1300, is the awesome road presence. I mean, this thing is massive, and then you get a set of panniers, on it, and some crash bags on the bars here, and this thing is absolutely massive. Okay, so nice and responsive, just cruising along with the traffic. It does have the factory quick shift, comes as stock. Probably not going to bother too much with that today. And to be honest, in terms of a review, as you know, I'm not a motorcycle journalist. I just like to have a bit of fun on my a little bit of fun on my channel. So I'm not really going to go into too much detail.
Boring.
It's all about making the best use of my time whilst I'm waiting a couple of hours for them to service my bike. Now you might be wondering why I don't nip around here. Well, I moved to Adelaide about 6 months ago, and this is a popular spot for the cops just to sit up there with the radar, getting people that start to wind up their vehicles for the 70 zone, which we're just coming up to. So we'll just take it nice and steady. Okay, so straight off the bat, what I've got to say about this bike is it's just so easy to ride. I mean, it's a whopping big bike for sure. I think they weigh something like 270 kilos before you start adding bags and panniers and all the rest of it. Plus you've got a good 100 kilos on a good day from myself, so that's a lot of weight to push around. But the 1300 donk, the 1300 motor in this does it so easily. You just want to wind it on, but you know, obviously we're in traffic and we're not going to hoon around on a demo bike. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in Adelaide. I've lived here now since around about May of last year, and it's been absolutely fantastic so far. It really is an amazing place to live. It's much warmer than Melbourne, or it feels like it, and it's certainly more consistent. You know, in Melbourne you'll get a couple of days where it's 40 degrees and then the next day you've got 16 degrees with hailstorm. You just don't seem to get that here in Adelaide. Well, anyway, enough about the Weather Channel. Let's get back to the bike.
Las bajas temperaturas a nuestra ciudad de Monterrey. Esperamos que para mañana miércoles la mínima.
So there's a few different things on this as well. The TFT is much the same, so your TFT screen. But again, taking a note from the what do we call it? The aftermarket market suppliers. There's actually some more cool things going on with the TFT. Let me see if I can get into it. There we go. So now if I can just draw your attention there, there's actually a sport screen, so you've got some fancy stuff around the revs and the braking and whatnot. I'm going to just hang her right here. Nice and steady, dead easy to ride. So there's the sports screen. I don't know how much value it's going to give you really, but it just it looks cool. Other than that, the rest of the screens are pretty much all the same. You've got connectivity for your music, for your phone. Sorry, wrong way, should have gone up instead of down. All your settings, which you can only really do when you're stationary. Other than that, the rest of the screens are pretty much the same. Just back to the hamburger button that I mentioned there, that changes your adaptive cruise control, and you do that with these two arrows there once you've pressed that button. If you don't press the button, those are going to work on your, they're going to work, excuse me a second, let's concentrate, they're going to work your windscreen up and down. Alright, now we're going to try and find a nice quiet space to park the bike up and have a look around. Alright guys, so I'm going to carry on filming using my helmet cam, and obviously I've left the bike running, and the reason I've done that is because I wanted to let you hear the engine. This thing knocks like a tractor. I don't think there's any issue with it at all. It's just super noisy. Very much looks like the 1300 non-GS Adventure model, apart from these massive radiator cowls on the side there. Let me just turn this off now. We've had enough of the knocking and banging. Alright, that's a bit quieter. So what's different straight away is you only get the lower crash bars with the new GS Adventure, and that worries me a little bit. You know, this area here, whether you like it or not, some people think it's super ugly, you know, you're going to get a lot of damage if this thing goes over. So I don't know whether that's an afterthought or whatever, but I would have definitely gone with some upper crash bars, and I can see already in the marketplace that some people are actually doing that already. They're making aftermarket ones. To the back here, so this is your power outlet. Yes, a power outlet that automatically locks into your panniers, assuming that you're using the BMW panniers. So yes, you definitely need the BMW panniers on there. The other thing that I'm not a fan of with this we call it scaffolding. The big frames that are on the 1250 GSA come out further, and they're steel, and I think they're going to help save the bike if you happen to drop it. And I know that from experience because I've had mine over on its side a couple of times. So going back to the power outlets, there's a power outlet there that interlocks or integrates, let's call it, with the BMW panniers. But you only get one on the left hand side, you don't get one on the right hand side. So with the left hand side, it comes with an interior light on the pannier. I'll see if I can find some pictures, so I'll throw up a picture of some panniers. Also with the power, if we untwist this little gizmo here, that then integrates with your top box, and again it has to be the BMW one, so you can pop that on there and you automatically get power, lighting, the ability to charge things within the top box. So that's actually a really great addition. One thing that I wish I had on my GSA Adventure, although if you've seen my videos, I've put an SAE lead onto the battery back there, and I've led that and routed that back into the Lone Rider top box so I can charge up my drone. Other things to look at, yes, we've got that massive cowl. The paintwork is fantastic. I like these little touches on the top there. If you stopped outside a cafe, it's a great shelf to put your coffee cup on. There is a cubby box at the front. Very handy for carrying packets of chewing gum and maybe your key. I wouldn't leave it in there personally, in case you forget it.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f*** is that?
I guess that's just from the dealers though. I'd always stick your key in your pocket. You don't need it. It's keyless, as is the fuel cap. In terms of bags, again, I'll find some footage. I'll put some footage up here for bags. You can actually come with some bags from BMW that clip onto these three brackets there, these three loops, which I think they look pretty cool. I don't know if they're waterproof, but once you get those on, it makes the bike so much wider. I mean, it's already a massive beast. They've moved the fog lights from the 1250. They used to be down on the bars here, and they've brought them up. I'm sure people are going to start putting auxiliary lighting on there using things like Lone Rider with their Hex Easy Can or Denali's or whatever. You've got the light on the front, which is the same as the 1300 GS. It's exactly the same. That actually adapts its position when you're going around the corners. We've already talked about the windscreen. One cool addition that I like, I'm actually running bark busters instead of the factory handguards on my 1250, but what I'm gonna do is add some auxiliary indicators on there, but with the new GS they're actually built in, which is really cool. Talking about the additional bags and tank bags and whatnot, another great thing they've come up with is this little bracket here, and I believe they've got the patent on this. And basically your tank bag clips on there and is held down at the front. Again, let me see if I can find some footage of that. And then the cool thing is, when you get to the filling station, you get to the petrol, gas station, whatever you call it in your country, you can unclip it at the front and just rotate it backwards to get to the keyless fuel cap there. Other than that, I think there's not much more to tell you at first glimpse. One thing that I won't demo it on this little thing. I'll see if I can find some footage, because I don't want to do it on the grass. One of the biggest problems in the past has been getting the GSA up onto the stand. Now with this one, and the young fella at the dealers just showed me, so with this one it's actually a motorized stand. So you leave it in neutral, Okay, so leave it in neutral, and then as soon as you put your foot on there and push it down, as soon as that hits the ground, the bike will sense that, and it actually lowers the bike to allow you to get the bike onto the stand. So I think there's a little servo in there that actually assists with getting it onto the stand. So if you're a little bit weak in the gym area, then that might come in handy. Okay, so that's probably as much as I can remember off the top of my head. They did actually print me out a tech sheet, so a spec sheet. Let's have a quick look here. Now obviously it depends on what specification you've got. So the engine obviously is a 1300. It's a bit knocky for my liking, but it certainly goes okay. It's got stuff on like performance and consumption and whatnot, and who really cares? If you can afford this, you're not going to really care about consumption because you've got heaps of money to start with. So let's talk about the sticker price. So sticker price, I'm just flabbergasted when he told me. So I think I paid, at the start of COVID, I think I paid about $32,000 for my 1250 GS Adventure, and that was delivered, and the only reason it was delivered at that price was because of COVID. I couldn't go and get it. But the guy in the dealers has just told me that this, and I'll just adjust my camera, that this bike is coming in, depending on how you spec it up, at a whopping $41,000 to $42,000 on road. That is absolutely massive. I mean, you can get lots of family cars probably for less than that. So on that basis, and given my bike is paid for, I probably won't be trading it in anytime soon, especially because I've got my bike set up just exactly as I like it. All right, that's probably, I'll just spin around the camera, that's probably enough of me waffling on for now, and it's absolutely boiling study giving you the commentary. So we're going to jump back on the bike and ride a little bit further. All right, stay tuned, guys. Okay, so we've got the knocking engine going. It's such a shame because it's an awesome bike that it makes so much noise. But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, let's go, because as you can see, I'm sweating quite a lot here. So I'm going to jump back on the road there, head towards Coromandel Valley, sort of through Blackwood. There's some beautiful roads. I'm going to stop at Windy Point that looks down over the plateau of Adelaide. So I'll take you there, and hopefully we'll get some nice footage on the way. So don't go anywhere yet, we haven't finished. Stick around. Well, thanks for staying along with me on this test ride and review. I'm not sure if it's really a review. What can you say about a bike that's $42,000 worth? You know, if you don't like it, there's something wrong. You know, if I had 42 grand spare, I'd really consider getting myself one of these. I certainly prefer it over the BMW 1300 non-adventure. I'm not sure if you saw my review that I did. I can't remember, it's at least 6 to maybe even 12 months old now. I really like that bike, but it just felt so small, whereas this feels like the man's version. I know that's not a great politically correct statement in this woke era.
And
the comments on that video disgusted me.
But sorry, I'm old school. So this, yes, the 1300 GS is the girl's bike, and this is definitely the more butch manly version. It just rides so nice, it's so smooth. It feels a little bit different to me as well, because I run the grip puppies on my 1250, so the bars feel really wider and I don't know, thinner, let's call them. But I think that's just because I've got the grip puppies, which stop with the pins and needles and some of the vibration. This has got the heated grips. Yes, I'm in Australia, obviously. This has got heated grips and heated seats. My 1250 doesn't have the heated seats, but I've never felt like I've needed them so far. What I would say about the heated grips is I do suffer these days from some arthritis in my hands. That comes from years of sort of weightlifting and martial arts and manual work, and I'm in the middle of a restoration on an old house, an old cottage I bought, and I'm really feeling that at the moment. So I actually like to run the heated grips on their lowest setting, even on a nice day, because it just helps relieve the pain in my hands. So as with all GS's, it comes with this annoying thing here where your Garmin sat-nav GPS, depending on what you call them in your country. In Britain they call it a sat-nav. Here in Australia we call it a GPS. So that clips in there. Well, that's probably going to cost you about another $700. And if you read all the reviews, the reviews are pretty bad because the unit's pretty shitty. What I've actually done, you might have seen it on my channel, is I've actually pulled this all off altogether. I've got a quad lock wireless charger on there, and I stick my phone on. Oops, sorry, I was getting a bit distracted there. I stick my phone on there and I use that for calls and music and looking at maps. So without, you know, resorting to any superlatives from Top Gear, like, this rides on rails. It really is such a nice smooth ride. What a fantastic bike. Now again, this does have the quick shifter on it, but I'm a little bit old school. I just can't get used to using the quick shifter without the clutch, and that leads me to the automatic. Believe it or not, they've actually released a clutchless, and so there's no clutch lever. They've released, I can't remember what the designated acronyms are. I'll put it up on the screen now, but they've released a version without a clutch, and I'm glad that they didn't have that as a demo bike, because, you know, how boring would that be? I mean, and to me, doesn't matter what type of size the vehicle is, but if you've got a bike that doesn't have a clutch, then that's a scooter, and I'm sorry, just stick to commuting. Yeah, great, the quick shifter helps you, you know, smash it up through the gears. They can be a bit notchy going down into the lower gears, but I really would not want to ride a bike that is so boring. Sorry, I'll just open up the visor so we don't steam up. I wouldn't want to ride a bike that's so boring that it doesn't have a clutch. Actually, the gearbox does feel a bit more notchy than the 1250 GSA, and maybe that is because it's brand new. I mean, what's this got on it? It's only got 650 Ks, 650 kilometers on this bike, so maybe it's at that stage where it's yet to you know, be, what's the word, run in, smoothed out a bit. So this is a fantastic little road. It takes you back down to the Adelaide plateau. Very flat city. And this road is actually famous for koalas. I wouldn't take your eyes off the road to be looking for them, but if you're a passenger you can have a look up there. They're quite hard to spot sometimes. It looks like a bird's nest. They just chill out on the eucalyptus leaves. But again, an amazing road here. This bike is just such a pleasure to ride. It's a fantastic bike. Okay, so this is what they call Windy or Windy Point. I've never known which way to say it. Leave me a comment below if you're from Adelaide and you're laughing at the way I say it, then leave me a comment below and let me know how to say it. So I'm going to nip into the car park here and oh dear, we've got guys working. No, I think we'll scratch that. They've got it blocked off. Now look at that for an amazing view. Absolutely fantastic. Shame about the crane. Always the case when you're YouTubing. Everything's very unpredictable. Would have been great to stop there actually to give you some views of the city, but hey ho, it is what it is. And again, still an awesome road, and you can see the switchbacks all the way back down into the valley.
Trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to grey as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray.
The engine is just so torquey that you don't even have to go up and down the gearbox. For a road like this you leave it in third or fourth and you just wind it on and off, a bit like an auto actually. Oh no, maybe I'm gonna end up with a scooter.
Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to grey as you fade away, as you fade away.
Alright, we are going to duck into the dealer and hand this baby back. Woof! And there we go, guys. Now they made me sign a waiver for a $2,000 excess if I dropped it, and we got back in one piece, so I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, I really do hope you've found this bugger off Harley. I I really hope you found this review interesting. Typical Harley rider. Let's start that again. Alright, so they made me sign a waiver for $2,000 before I took.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? Didn't mommy and daddy show you enough attention when you were a child?
Alright guys, so here we are back at the dealers. Now, they made me sign a waiver for $2,000 in case I dropped it, and I got it back in one piece, so pretty happy about that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the review and you've enjoyed riding along with me today, then I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe, but you know what to do. Alright, I'll see you on the next one.
Try to stay strong and fake a smile until I look